Welcome to Winning Paths, your gateway into the enthralling realm of archery. Dive deep into its theories, unravel its rich history, and bask in a wealth of experiences shared by us and our distinguished guests. This podcast is a treasure trove of all things archery, brought to life through engaging dialogues and insightful monologues. Proudly produced by the Irish Field Archery Monthly, Ireland's premier non-profit archery community magazine, our existence is a testament to the unwavering support and dedication of our listeners. If our content resonates with you, we warmly invite you to bolster our mission through a direct donation to our dedicated account. Find the link in our description. Our episodes are the culmination of thoughtful analysis, extensive research, academic endeavors, and the publication of articles and books on archery, both in Ireland and internationally. The core of our content is original, crafted from our intellectual endeavors, while any borrowed insights are duly credited, showcasing the cited authors and outlining our research methodology. Our commitment to you is unwavering, to deliver compelling, original content bi-weekly, free of charge, enriching your knowledge and passion for archery. Greetings archers and listeners, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Winning Paths, your favorite archery podcast, where we shoot straight into the heart of history's most captivating tales. Today's episode, whimsically titled The Ghosts of Mary Rose, will take you on a journey through time, much like an archaeologist, sifting through centuries-old mud, but with less muck and more mirth. Picture it now, a grand Tudor warship, the Mary Rose, pride of Henry VIII's fleet, not just sailing the seas, but dancing upon them with the grace of a drunken sailor at a village fair. Our story begins with this majestic ship, a veritable floating fortress, full of archers, sailors, soldiers, and perhaps a few ghosts who've had a bit too much grog. We'll navigate through tales of daring adventures, lost treasures, and the peculiar fate that befell this splendid vessel. Expect the unexpected, dear listeners, as we uncover secrets from the depths, much like old Seamus O'Flaherty rummaging in his bog, hoping to find his whiskey barrel but stumbling upon an ancient chieftain instead. So, string your bows, nock your arrows, and prepare for a rollicking good time as we explore the legends, the lore, and the lingering spirits of the Mary Rose. Let's set sail on this merry voyage into history, with a wink and a nudge and a hearty laugh at the quirks of the past. Avast ye, the ghosts of the Mary Rose await. What secrets lie beneath the waves, hidden for centuries until one day they are brought back to the light. On those balmy summer days of July 18th and 19th, in the year of our Lord 1545, the good ship Mary Rose found herself embroiled in one of the grandest naval kerfuffles of the so-called Italian wars. Picture it, the waters of the Solent, a grand stage between Hampshire and the Isle of Wight, where the fleets of Francis I of France and Henry VIII of England squared off in a dance of death. The clash settled naught, but it gifted history with the tale of the sinking of the English carrack, the Mary Rose. Tragedy struck swift and sudden. The Mary Rose, Henry's own flagship, plunged beneath the waves, taking with her hundreds of souls to their watery graves. For centuries, the why and the how of it all sparked endless debate. Theories flew like arrows, but it wasn't until 1982, when the Mary Rose was hoisted from her aquatic tomb, that the pieces began to fit. Enter Peter Marsden, a Scotsman with a penchant for history and a knack for archaeology. He thought it high time to delve deep, to unearth the truth buried beneath the silt and seaweed. Thus was born his riveting tome, 1545, Who Sank the Mary Rose? Marsden's pedigree is as storied as a bard's tale. With a PhD from Oxford and a fellowship at the Society of Antiquaries of London, the man has been elbow-deep in history since the swinging 60s. From Roman baths to royal palaces in the City of London, his trowel has touched them all. He even took on the Ministry of Defence in the High Court to save the SS Storia, a sunken World War II merchant ship, from oblivion. If ever there was a man to resurrect the Mary Rose's tale, it was he. Marsden's alliance with the Mary Rose Trust was crucial in raising the ship from the depths. His book paints a vivid tableau of the fateful encounter in the Solent, recounting the clash from both English and French perspectives. His meticulous descriptions, peppered with detailed diagrams and illustrations, breathe life into the Tudor fleet, making the pages come alive with the hustle and bustle of 16th century naval warfare. The recovery of the Mary Rose was nothing short of a Herculean task, spanning the 1970s and culminating in the 1980s. Marsden's narrative celebrates the love of history, the courage, and the sacrifices of those who made it possible to witness the Mary Rose in all her glory today. It stands as a solemn tribute to the crew, whose personal artifacts offer glimpses into their final moments. Marsden's work clarifies that the French fleet's arrival and occupation of the Isle of Wight and Portsmouth were more surprise party than strategic maneuver. The wreck's remains confirmed that the Mary Rose was engaged in battle, her extra deck making her as unstable as a drunken sailor. Marsden paints a vivid, almost heart-wrenching picture of her final moments, each deck a chaotic scene of desperate men and impending doom. The examination of the remains of Henry VIII's sailors casts light on the ethnic diversity of Tudor England. Imagine, if you will, an archer hailing from the Atlas Mountains of northern Africa, rubbing shoulders with a carpenter from sunny Spain. Others seemed local lads, perhaps from the bustling ports of West Anglia or the Thames estuary. Scientists, employing the wizardry of multi-isotope analysis on the crew's teeth, unearthed tales of 8 brave souls who met their end aboard the Mary Rose nearly 5 centuries ago. These revelations deepen our understanding of Tudor society's composition, a veritable melting pot aboard a wooden leviathan. Among the most enthralling discoveries was the archery gear. The Mary Rose was a veritable arsenal of longbows and arrows, showcasing the military technology of the time. These longbows, crafted from the finest yew wood, came in various sizes, catering to archers of differing strengths. It's almost poetic, imagining these warriors, each with a bow suited just for them, ready to rain havoc upon their foes. One standout piece was a leather armguard adorned with the pomegranate symbol of Catherine of Aragon, Henry VIII's first wife. This belonged, no doubt, to a royal archer of noble blood. The armguard's design speaks of prestige and function, a blend of utility and status. The arrows, some still fitted with iron heads, varied in design. Some were meant to pierce armor, others for long-range shots. The diversity of this gear underscores the importance of archers in Tudor naval warfare, poised to unleash a deadly volley upon the enemy. Ongoing archaeological research continues to peel back the layers of history, revealing new insights into Tudor life and naval warfare. Scholars from Cardiff University, the Mary Rose Trust, and the British Geological Survey employed multi-isotope analysis on the teeth of crew members. This meticulous study revealed a crew as diverse as a London market, hailing from the British Isles, North Africa, and Southern Europe. The Mary Rose, now resting in the Mary Rose Museum in Portsmouth, stands as a testament to human curiosity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Her story, a blend of tragedy and triumph, continues to captivate and educate, offering a unique window into the past. She is not just a relic of a bygone era, but a vibrant link to our shared heritage, a reminder of the ingenuity and bravery of those who came before us. So, as we ponder the tale of the Mary Rose, let us toast to those who sailed her, those who found her, and those who have worked tirelessly to preserve her legacy. Here's to history, mystery, and the unending quest to connect with our past. Long may the Mary Rose reign in our hearts and minds, a beacon of discovery and inspiration. The historical context of the Mary Rose. What drives a nation to pour its heart and soul into a wooden vessel, only to watch it vanish beneath the waves in a heartbeat? To unravel the tale of the Mary Rose, we must voyage back to the early 16th century, a time when Europe was a veritable powder keg, and the sparks of the Italian wars ignited fierce geopolitical rivalries. England, under the boisterous and ambitious Henry VIII, was right in the thick of these grand continental power plays, balancing precariously between alliances with France, the Holy Roman Empire, and Spain. Picture this: Europe, a sprawling chessboard, where monarchs moved their armies like pieces in a deadly game. The Italian wars, ostensibly over control of Italy, quickly became a free-for-all involving nearly every major Western European state. France, led by Francis I, made a bold grab for Italian territories, prompting Spain, the Holy Roman Empire, and England to push back with equal fervor. For England, these wars were both an opportunity and a headache. Henry VIII, never one to shy away from a brawl, saw his chance to establish England as a dominant force. His foreign policy was as fluid as a river, constantly shifting based on the tangled web of European politics. At times he was cozied up to Spain and the Holy Roman Empire against France. At others, he was making eyes at France itself, always ready to switch sides if it served his interests. Henry, renowned for his 6 wives and his break with the Catholic Church, was also a fervent champion of naval power. Recognizing that a strong navy was key to England's security and influence, he invested heavily in shipbuilding. His vision was clear: transform England into a maritime powerhouse capable of defending its shores and projecting power far and wide. The Mary Rose, launched in 1511, was the crown jewel of this new fleet, a mighty carrack designed to carry the firepower of a battleship and the cargo capacity of a merchant vessel. She wasn't just a ship, she was a floating fortress and a symbol of England's growing maritime ambition. Now, the relationship between England and France during this period was as volatile as a cask of gunpowder. The two nations had a long history of conflict, dating back to the 100 Years' War, and by the early 16th century, their rivalry was as fierce as ever. The English crown viewed France as its primary adversary on the continent, and both nations engaged in a series of wars and skirmishes to undermine each other's influence. Fast forward to the summer of 1545. Francis I of France decided it was high time to invade England, hoping to land a decisive blow against Henry VIII. The French fleet, a formidable armada, set sail for the English coast, aiming to land troops and seize key positions. This audacious plan led to the Battle of the Solent, a dramatic naval engagement that would seal the fate of the Mary Rose. On July 19th, the Solent, a narrow strait between the Isle of Wight and the English mainland, became the stage for a desperate clash. The Mary Rose was at the forefront of the English defence, her cannons bristling and her crew ready for battle. Despite being outnumbered, the English fleet was well prepared and strategically positioned to fend off the French offensive. Eyewitness accounts and historical reconstructions suggest the battle was a cacophony of cannon fire, smoke, and chaos. The Mary Rose, leading the charge, engaged French ships with ferocity, but amidst the fury, disaster struck. The proud warship suddenly began to list, her starboard side dipping dangerously. Within moments, she sank, taking with her nearly all her crew, hundreds of men lost to the depths. The sinking of the Mary Rose was a gut-wrenching blow to Henry VIII's naval aspirations. It exposed the brutal realities of 16th century naval warfare, where ships could be felled not just by enemy fire, but by the unforgiving sea and the flaws in their design. The disaster also highlighted the critical importance of a well-trained crew, as human error often played a role in such tragedies. Yet, ever the tenacious monarch, Henry VIII was not deterred. The loss of the Mary Rose spurred him to further invest in his navy, laying the groundwork for what would eventually become the Royal Navy. The lessons learned from her sinking about ship stability, firepower distribution, and crew training were invaluable, driving innovations that would shape England's naval strategy for decades to come. The historical context of the Mary Rose is a tapestry woven with ambition, rivalry, and the relentless quest for dominance. She was more than a technological marvel. She was a symbol of England's aspirations, the embodiment of a nation striving to make its mark on the world stage. Her legacy is a testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and the indomitable spirit that drives us to explore, innovate, and conquer the challenges that lie before us. In the story of the Mary Rose, we see the reflection of an era marked by tumult and triumph, and the enduring quest for mastery over the seas. The Mary Rose in action. They said the Mary Rose could sink the moon if given half a chance. Now, while that might be a slight exaggeration, there's no denying this grand dame of the Tudor fleet had a knack for making waves in the 16th century naval world. Not just a wooden beauty on the water, the Mary Rose was the mighty fist of Henry VIII, a veritable beast of battle from her launch in 1511 until her fateful plunge in 1545. Picture her, a splendid carrack, with sails billowing like the skirts of a dozen duchesses, and a hull as sturdy as Henry's ego. She was built from the finest oak, so robust you'd think she was meant to tussle with giants. Her design was the talk of the town, gun ports along her sides ready to spit fire and iron, signaling a shift from the olden days of boarding and hand-to-hand combat to the new era of broadside artillery. The Mary Rose didn't just float around looking pretty, she got right into the thick of it. Her first taste of action came during the Second French War, 1512 to 1514. In 1512, at the Battle of Saint-Mathieu off the coast of Brittany, she clashed with the French fleet. Imagine the scene, cannons blazing, smoke choking the air, and there was the Mary Rose, hammering the French flagship, Grande Louise, into submission. Her broadsides were so ferocious they could have knocked the stuffing out of a Christmas goose. Henry VIII must have been as pleased as a cat with cream, watching his prized ship deal devastation with such flair. The following year, 1513, saw the Mary Rose joining an English fleet on an ambitious invasion of France, but plans changed faster than the English weather, and she was rerouted to support the Battle of Flodden. Now, while Flodden was a land battle, the Mary Rose's presence was indispensable. She provided artillery support and logistical assistance, showcasing her versatility. She wasn't just a warship, she was the Swiss Army knife of the Tudor Navy. Fast forward to the Third French War, and the Mary Rose was a seasoned veteran. By this time, she'd had several facelifts, new guns, an extra deck, each modification making her more formidable and, as it turned out, more top-heavy. Still, she sailed into battle with the same gusto as a knight charging a dragon. The summer of 1545 brought the ultimate test. The French fleet, bigger and badder than ever, set their sights on England. The Mary Rose, stationed at Portsmouth, was ready to give them a proper English welcome. The Battle of the Solent was a desperate clash. Positioned in the narrow waters between the Isle of Wight and the mainland, the Mary Rose and her compatriots faced the French invasion head-on. The fight was fierce. The Mary Rose, gunners at the ready, fired volley after volley, aiming to scatter the French like so many bowling pins. But in the midst of the battle, tragedy struck. Maneuvering to deliver another broadside, the Mary Rose suddenly heeled over, her gun ports wide open. Water rushed in faster than ale at a Tudor banquet, and within minutes she was gone, swallowed by the sea along with most of her crew. The exact cause of her sinking has been the subject of heated debate. Was it a rogue gust of wind, or the ship's own cumbersome modifications? A bit of both, perhaps. What's clear is that the Mary Rose's sudden demise was a heart-wrenching blow to England's naval might. Yet, even in her watery grave, the Mary Rose's story was far from over. Her sinking underscored the brutal reality of naval warfare, where even the mightiest ships could fall prey to design flaws and the whims of nature. The lessons learned from her loss spurred improvements in shipbuilding and naval strategy, ensuring that her sacrifice was not in vain. When she was raised in 1982, the Mary Rose brought with her a treasure trove of artifacts, offering a window into the life of a Tudor warship. Weapons, personal belongings, and everyday items found on board painted a vivid picture of the crew's daily existence. The Mary Rose Museum in Portsmouth now stands as a testament to her storied history, a place where the past comes alive and whispers tales of valor and tragedy. The Mary Rose's career was marked by epic battles and daring exploits. From her early victories against the French to her tragic end at the Battle of the Solent, she exemplified the evolution of naval warfare in the Tudor era. Her story is a testament to the ingenuity, resilience, and indomitable spirit of the English Navy. Though she now rests in peaceful display, her legacy continues to inform and inspire, bridging the gap between history and legend. Theories on the sinking of the Mary Rose. As the old sea shanty goes, she sank like a stone, she did, but not for a grand tale she told. The Mary Rose, England's proudest warship, went down quicker than you can say Henry's eighth wife. The sinking of the Mary Rose on July 19, 1545, has puzzled scholars and seafarers alike for centuries. Theories have bloomed like barnacles on a ship's hull, each one adding a piece to the tragic puzzle of why this formidable vessel, which served with distinction for over 3 decades, met such a watery fate. Right after the calamity, tongues wagged and fingers pointed in every direction. The French, ever keen on a good boast, claimed their gunners had hit the bullseye, striking the Mary Rose with precision. A direct hit, they bellowed, their chests puffed out like peacocks. But the English, not to be outdone in the blame game, countered that the ship's demise was more a matter of internal bungling than external bombardment. King Henry VIII watching the spectacle from Southsea Castle, was quick to lay the blame on his crew, grumbling about their incompetence, as the ship sank faster than his patience with a disobedient courtier. One of the more popular theories was that the ship's gun ports were left wide open during a sharp maneuver. Picture this: the Mary Rose, her sides bristling with cannons, attempting a swift turn. Suddenly, she lists, and seawater floods through the open gun ports faster than ale at a Tudor feast. The crew, perhaps more used to handling tankards than tackling such a complex vessel in battle, found themselves in a situation that spiraled out of control with tragic speed. And then there's the matter of her design. The Mary Rose was built in 1511, a marvel of naval engineering, but she wasn't left untouched over the years. Like an aging actress, she had multiple enhancements to keep up with the times. Extra guns, an additional deck. All these upgrades made her top-heavy, as stable as a drunken sailor on a stormy night. While these modifications boosted her firepower, they also turned her into a prime candidate for capsizing. The poor lass was practically teetering on the brink, even before the French showed up. During the Battle of the Solent, the Mary Rose found herself amidst chaos, engaging multiple French galleys in the narrow strait. Her gunners, hard at work, might have struggled with the complexities of rapid maneuvers and artillery fire. A sharp turn, an open gun port, and voila, the sea had its way with her. The wind, ever the trickster, caught her sails just so, and she tilted dangerously. The water, always eager to invade, rushed in through the open ports, and down she went. When archaeologists raised the Mary Rose in 1982, they found a treasure trove of clues. Her hull, laden with artillery and other gear, suggested a ship carrying a heavy burden. The position of the crew's remains hinted at a desperate struggle below decks, perhaps trying to manage the incoming water or reload the cannons. The open gunport theory gained traction here. The evidence pointed to water ingress as a major factor in the ship's rapid descent. Now, the French cannonball theory isn't entirely without merit. Some believe that a well-placed shot from a French galley might have hit the Mary Rose at just the right angle to cause fatal damage. Yet, the archaeological evidence casts doubt on this. The hull showed no significant signs of battle damage that would corroborate a direct hit sinking such a majestic ship. It seems more likely that the real culprit was inside the ship itself. Let's delve into the design issues. The Mary Rose was state-of-the-art in 1511, but naval warfare evolved, and the ship needed to evolve with it. Unfortunately, the refits and upgrades that added more firepower also added more weight above the waterline. This made the ship top-heavy and unstable, especially during sharp maneuvers in battle. Imagine trying to balance a stack of books on a seesaw. It's all fine until someone moves, then disaster strikes. That's what happened to the Mary Rose, a beautiful but unwieldy behemoth. And then there's the weather. The Solent, a narrow strip of water with strong currents and unpredictable winds, was a treacherous place for any ship, let alone one already dancing on the edge of disaster. On that fateful day, the wind wasn't just blowing, it was howling, and the currents were more devilish than usual. It's entirely plausible that a sudden gust caught the Mary Rose mid-turn, tipping her just enough for the open gun ports to dip below the waterline. Once water started pouring in, it was game over. The human factor cannot be ignored either. The crew of the Mary Rose, many of them likely inexperienced replacements, might have been overwhelmed by the complexity of operating such a heavily armed vessel. In the chaos of battle, amidst the roar of cannons and the shouts of men, the precise coordination needed to keep the ship stable could easily falter. One wrong move, one misjudged order, and the Mary Rose's fate was sealed. The raising of the Mary Rose in 1982 was like opening a Pandora's box of historical clues. The artifacts recovered provided invaluable insights into the daily lives of the crew and the operational conditions on board. Personal belongings, weapons, and everyday items painted a vivid picture of life on a Tudor warship. These discoveries have helped historians piece together the events leading up to the sinking, but they've also raised new questions and theories. For instance, the distribution of the crew's remains suggests many were caught off guard, possibly below decks, trying to manage the ship's artillery or stem the incoming water. This supports the idea that the sinking was rapid and unexpected, likely exacerbated by the open gun ports and the ship's unstable design. Environmental factors played a crucial role too. The Solent's notorious currents and unpredictable winds were formidable adversaries. On that day, they conspired with the ship's top-heavy design, and open gun ports to create a perfect storm. It wasn't just one thing that sank the Mary Rose. It was a deadly cocktail of factors that aligned in the worst possible way. The sinking of the Mary Rose is a rich tapestry of speculation and evidence, a multifaceted disaster resulting from design flaws, chaotic battle conditions, human error, and environmental factors. While no single theory can fully explain the tragedy, the convergence of these elements offers the most plausible explanation. The ship's top-heavy design, worsened by recent modifications, made her vulnerable. The chaotic conditions of battle and a sudden gust of wind likely triggered the sequence of events that led to her sinking. The open gun ports allowed water to flood in, and the crew's inability to counteract the rapid loss of stability sealed the ship's fate. The Mary Rose's sinking serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities and dangers of naval warfare in the 16th century. It underscores the importance of ongoing archaeological and historical research in uncovering the truths of our past. The ship's recovery and subsequent analysis have provided invaluable insights, but the story of the Mary Rose continues to evolve as new evidence and interpretations emerge. Like a ghostly whisper from the deep, she still speaks to us, revealing her secrets bit by bit, reminding us of the fragility and heroism of those who sailed her. The raising of the Mary Rose. Ex mare ad astra, from the sea to the stars. The raising of the Mary Rose in 1982 was like plucking a grand old lady from her slumber, not so much a resurrection, but a spectacular return to the limelight. Think of it as bringing a vintage bottle of whiskey out from the cellar, aged to perfection and full of stories to tell. It was a monumental event in maritime archaeology, marking the culmination of years of dedicated research, planning, and sheer stubborn determination. The tale of the Mary Rose's recovery is an epic saga in itself. Back in the 19th century, the ship's final resting place was the stuff of legends, a ghostly whisper beneath the waves. But it wasn't until the swinging 60s that Alexander McKee, military historian and amateur diver, decided to play detective. In 1965, with a glint in his eye and a team of enthusiasts, he launched Project Solent Ships. Using the latest sonar tech, McKee and his merry band pinpointed a promising site in 1967. Eureka! Initial digs confirmed it. The old warhorse was indeed lying there, her timbers nestled in the silt. The word spread faster than gossip at a Sunday Mass, and by 1979, the Mary Rose Trust was born. An all-star cast of archaeologists, engineers, and historians joined forces, each with a singular goal: to bring the Mary Rose back to the surface. From 1979 to 1982, it was a veritable underwater ballet. They meticulously mapped the site, cataloging thousands of artifacts, personal trinkets, weapons, tools, you name it. It was like opening a Tudor treasure chest. But the real challenge lay ahead, raising the ship without turning her into kindling. The plan was to construct a cradle, a steel hug that would support the ship's fragile hull. Picture it, a delicate operation designed to distribute the weight evenly, avoiding any undue stress. The cradle was assembled underwater, a task requiring the finesse of a cat burglar. Once in place, hydraulic jacks would gently coax the Mary Rose from her seabed slumber, inch by inch. On October 11, 1982, the big day dawned. The operation was broadcast live, an event that drew millions of eager eyes. The lift was slow and methodical, a dance of hydraulics and hope. The hull, delicate as a cobweb, rose gradually. Hours ticked by, hearts thudded, and finally, there she was, suspended in her cradle, lifted clear of the seabed. The final act was transferring the hull onto a barge, a move requiring the precision of a neurosurgeon. The team lowered the hull carefully, and with bated breath, they secured her. The Mary Rose was on her way to Portsmouth, where she would undergo meticulous conservation. The conservation of the Mary Rose was akin to pampering a grand dowager. She was placed in a dry dock, and the focus turned to stabilizing her wooden hull, waterlogged for centuries. The magic potion, polyethylene glycol, PEG, which replaced the water in the wood, preventing shrinkage and cracking. This process took years, with PEG being sprayed continuously, seeping into the wood, stabilizing it for posterity. Thousands of artifacts also received their special treatments, a bit like a spa day for Tudor relics. Swords were derusted, leather shoes were treated, Even the ship's bells were polished till they gleamed. The final drying of the hull was done under carefully controlled conditions, ensuring nothing warped or splintered. In 2013, the Mary Rose Museum opened its doors, offering visitors a front row seat to history. The museum is a marvel, with climate control systems that would make NASA proud. Inside, the preserved remains of the Mary Rose sit alongside an array of artifacts, each telling its own story. Interactive exhibits and detailed displays bring the ship's history to life, from her construction and glory days to her tragic sinking and miraculous recovery. The raising of the Mary Rose was a landmark in maritime archaeology, demonstrating the power of interdisciplinary collaboration and technological innovation. It inspired similar efforts worldwide, advancing our understanding of naval history and underwater preservation. The project was more than a technical triumph. It was a testament to human perseverance and curiosity. The story of the Mary Rose captivates and educates. She offers a unique window into the 16th century, the lives of the sailors who manned her, and the era's naval warfare. Her recovery and preservation are a powerful reminder of the past's richness and the ongoing effort to protect our cultural heritage. The Mary Rose stands not just as a ship, but as a symbol of our enduring fascination with history and the sea. From the seabed to the stars, the Mary Rose's journey continues to inspire. Her story is one of resilience, a testament to the human spirit's indomitable quest for discovery and preservation. So, here's to the Mary Rose. Long may her legacy sail on. The treasures of the Mary Rose. Nil desperandum, as the Romans might say, never despair. The Mary Rose. When she finally resurfaced in 1982, it was as if Neptune himself had handed over the keys to the past. From leather shoes to longbows, each artifact had a tale to tell, painting a vivid picture of life aboard this iconic warship. Imagine, if you will, the scene beneath the waves. Leather shoes scattered like leaves in autumn, each one whispering secrets of its former owner. The ship had a crew as diverse as a Dublin market, and their shoes told the tale. From the sturdy, worn boots of the common seaman to the finely crafted footwear of an officer, it was clear that the Mary Rose was a microcosm of Tudor society. Each pair bespoke the owner's rank and station, and you could almost hear the thud of wooden soles on the deck, each step a testament to the life that once buzzed aboard. And the grooming tools, razors, combs, and ear scoops galore. It seems even in the thick of naval warfare, a Tudor sailor liked to keep himself presentable. One particularly intriguing find was a wooden knit comb, intricately designed and undoubtedly much used. The sailors might have been battling the French, but they were also waging a daily war against lice. It was a reminder that no matter how grand the ship, its crew still dealt with the nitty-gritty of life. But let's not forget, the Mary Rose was first and foremost a warship, and her arsenal was a smorgasbord of Tudor military might. The collection of longbows alone was staggering. Hundreds of these elegant weapons, each one a testament to the craftsmanship of yew-wood. The variety in size and draw weight showed that archers of all strengths were ready to rain arrows upon their foes. And those arrows, still tipped with iron, spoke of a time when battles were decided by volleys that darkened the sky. Firearms, though less reliable than the trusty longbow, were also part of the Mary Rose's formidable arsenal. Handguns and muskets, the noisy new kids on the block, highlighted the transition in military tactics and technology during the 16th century. These early firearms, clunky and temperamental, were the cutting edge of military innovation, representing a shift from traditional archery to gunpowder warfare. Navigational instruments found on the Mary Rose were a testament to the advanced seafaring knowledge of the Tudors. Compasses, dividers, and log lines were among the items recovered, illustrating the methods used by the crew to navigate the seas. One remarkable find was a brass astrolabe, a sophisticated device for determining latitude by the stars. This instrument reflected the advanced state of nautical science in Tudor England and the reliance on celestial navigation to traverse open waters. Picture it, a sailor peering through the astrolabe's sights, charting a course by the stars, navigating the Mary Rose across the vast, treacherous sea. The discovery of medical equipment among the wreckage provides insight into the healthcare practices aboard the Mary Rose. Items such as surgical instruments, medicine bottles, and even a full wooden medicine chest suggested that the ship was well equipped to handle medical emergencies, a necessity given the constant threat of injury and disease. The surgical instruments included bone saws, scalpels, and forceps, indicating that the ship's barber surgeon was prepared to perform a variety of medical procedures. The presence of these tools highlighted the importance of having medical expertise on board, particularly in a military context, where injuries from combat were common. The culinary and domestic artifacts recovered from the Mary Rose painted a vivid picture of the crew's daily life. Cooking utensils, pots, and pans were found alongside more personal items like wooden bowls, spoons, and tankards. These items suggested a diet that was both practical and at times quite varied. The discovery of a nearly intact brick oven, used for baking bread, indicated that fresh bread was a staple of the crew's diet. Other items, such as fishing equipment and food storage containers, provided further insights into the ship's provisions and the crew's dietary habits. You could almost smell the fresh bread baking in that tiny brick oven, a comforting aroma amid the salty sea air. Despite the hardships of life at sea, the crew of the Mary Rose found time for leisure and recreation. Evidence of this was found in the form of gaming pieces, musical instruments, and other items related to entertainment. A beautifully crafted backgammon set, complete with intricately carved pieces, suggested that the crew engaged in games to pass the time and maintain morale. Imagine the scene. Sailors hunched over a game of backgammon, their laughter mingling with the creak of the ship and the crash of the waves. Musical instruments, including a tabor drum and a whistle, were also discovered, indicating that music played a role in the daily life of the crew. These items suggested that despite the rigors of naval life, there was a place for relaxation and enjoyment, providing a more rounded picture of life on the Mary Rose. One can easily imagine a sailor tapping out a rhythm on the tabor drum, a whistle blowing a merry tune, the crew gathering around for a moment of reprieve from their arduous duties. The preservation of clothing and textiles on the Mary Rose provided a rare glimpse into Tudor fashion and the practical attire worn by sailors. Woolen garments, hats, and gloves were among the items recovered, reflecting both the need for warmth and the fashion of the period. Some of these garments were finely made, suggesting that they belonged to officers or higher-ranking crew members. The variety of clothing found indicated the different roles and statuses on board the ship, from the sturdy, practical clothing of the sailors to the more elaborate garments of the officers. These items provided valuable information about the social hierarchy and daily life aboard the Mary Rose. The treasures of the Mary Rose are a window into the past, offering unparalleled insights into the lives of her crew and the broader context of Tudor society. Each artifact, from the personal grooming tools to the advanced navigational instruments, tells a story of the men who lived, worked, and died on this iconic warship. The Mary Rose's collection is not just a catalogue of items, but a vibrant narrative of an era, encapsulating the complexities, challenges, and human experiences of 16th century maritime life. Through these artifacts, we connect with the past in a tangible and meaningful way, preserving the legacy of the Mary Rose for future generations to explore and appreciate. The human element. What is a ship but a grand stage upon which the human drama unfolds? The Mary Rose, proud flagship of Henry VIII, was not just a vessel of war, but a floating theatre, echoing with the laughter, toil, and cries of its diverse crew. Imagine her, not as a mere collection of wood and sails, but as a living, breathing entity, brimming with life and stories. Each artifact pulled from her watery grave is a whisper from the past, telling us about the men who served aboard her and the world they inhabited. The Mary Rose housed a complement of roughly 400 to 500 souls, each playing a part in the grand narrative of Tudor naval power. Sailors, soldiers, gunners, all interwoven like the threads of a rich tapestry. Sailors scampered up the rigging with the agility of cats, navigators plotted courses with instruments that would baffle the land-bound, and gunners, those stout-hearted fellows, manned the cannons with precision and muscle, each blast a symphony of destruction. A peek into the bones of these men reveals a surprising diversity. Thanks to the magic of multi-isotope analysis, those scientific sleuths have unraveled the origins of these salty sea dogs. Take the Royal Archer, for instance. Not some English yeoman, but a lad hailing from the Atlas Mountains of North Africa. Imagine him, dark-eyed and steady-handed, his arrows flying true in the heat of battle. Then there's the Carpenter, whose isotopic signatures sing of sun-drenched Spain. The Mary Rose wasn't just an English warship. She was a microcosm of the early modern world, a floating babel of tongues and traditions. Each man had his role, each task vital to the ship's operation. The sailors, with their knives and navigational tools, were the ship's lifeblood, keeping her on course and in good repair. Soldiers, bristling with swords and daggers, ready to leap into the fray at a moment's notice. And the gunners, those titans of artillery, cradling cannonballs like babes, their expertise turning the tide of many a naval engagement. Personal artifacts found on the wreck bring these men into sharper focus. Wooden bowls and tankards, combs and razors, small tokens of humanity amid the chaos of war. Imagine a sailor, after a long day's toil, scraping away the stubble with a razor, perhaps dreaming of home, or a soldier carefully oiling his sword, the metal gleaming in the flickering lamplight. These items speak volumes about the importance of maintaining a semblance of normalcy and dignity, even in the harshest conditions. Religious artifacts, too, were found among the wreckage. Rosary beads and small crosses, silent witnesses to the faith these men clung to. Amidst the terror of battle and the uncertainty of life at sea, these tokens of belief offered comfort and hope, a spiritual anchor in a storm-tossed world. The skeletal remains of the crew have whispered secrets of their health and diets. Many bones show the wear and tear of arthritis, a badge of hard labor. Signs of scurvy tell of long voyages with nary a lemon in sight. Their teeth, examined with the keen eye of modern science, reveal a diet that was balanced when fortune smiled, but marked by periods of scarcity and nutritional stress. The positioning of the remains within the wreck tells a story of desperate final moments. Gunners found at their stations, likely loading or firing their cannons as the ship tilted. Sailors near the rigging and hatches, possibly striving to save their beloved ship or to escape as she succumbed to the sea. Each skeleton a testament to courage and chaos, a snapshot of those frantic final minutes. One can almost see it, the Mary Rose, heeling over in the Solent's waters, her crew scrambling as she took on water. Gunners still at their posts, refusing to abandon their stations. Sailors trying to free the tangled rigging or make for the lifeboats, their hearts pounding with fear and determination. These men were not faceless entities. They were flesh and blood, with dreams and fears, caught in a maelstrom of history. The personal artifacts found aboard offer a poignant glimpse into their daily lives. Wooden bowls, tankards, and personal grooming tools like combs and razors reflect their attempts to maintain a semblance of normalcy and comfort amid the harsh conditions of naval life. These items suggest a concern for personal appearance and hygiene, even in the challenging environment of a warship. A wooden knit comb, intricately designed, speaks volumes about the struggle against the ever-present lice, a small but significant battle in the life of a sailor. Among the more intimate discoveries were religious artifacts, including rosary beads and small crosses. These items indicate the personal faith of the crew members and their reliance on spiritual beliefs for comfort and protection. Such artifacts provide a deeper understanding of the personal lives and cultural backgrounds of the men on board. In the flickering lamplight, one can imagine a sailor clutching his rosary, whispering a prayer for safety, for victory, or for the simple hope of returning home. The Mary Rose also yielded a trove of medical supplies, painting a vivid picture of healthcare on the high seas. Surgical instruments, medicine bottles, and even a wooden medicine chest suggested that the ship was well prepared for the inevitable injuries and illnesses. Bone saws, scalpels, and forceps indicated that the ship's barber surgeon was equipped to handle everything from minor cuts to gruesome amputations. These tools were a stark reminder of the perils of naval warfare and the desperate measures required to keep men alive. The culinary and domestic artifacts recovered provide a snapshot of the sailors' diet and daily routines. Cooking utensils, pots, and pans were found alongside personal items. The discovery of a nearly intact brick oven used for baking bread indicated that fresh bread was a staple of the crew's diet. Other items, such as fishing equipment and food storage containers, provided further insights into the ship's provisions and the crew's dietary habits. Picture the scene: a sailor, sweating by the heat of the oven, pulling out a loaf of bread, the comforting smell mingling with the salty sea air. Despite the hardships of life at sea, the crew found time for leisure and recreation. Gaming pieces, musical instruments, and other items related to entertainment were discovered, shedding light on how these men relaxed and passed the time. A beautifully crafted backgammon set, complete with intricately carved pieces, suggested that the crew engaged in games to keep their spirits high. One can almost hear the laughter and banter, the clatter of dice on wood, the small respite from the relentless sea. Musical instruments, including a tabor drum and a whistle, were also discovered, indicating that music played a role in the daily life of the crew. These items suggest that despite the rigors of naval life, there was a place for relaxation and enjoyment, providing a more rounded picture of life on the Mary Rose. Imagine a sailor tapping out a rhythm on the tabor drum, a tune whistling through the air. The crew gathered around, finding solace and camaraderie in the music. The preservation of clothing and textiles on the Mary Rose provides a rare glimpse into Tudor fashion and the practical attire worn by sailors. Woolen garments, hats, and gloves were among the items recovered, reflecting both the need for warmth and the fashion of the period. Some of these garments were finely made, suggesting that they belonged to officers or higher-ranking crew members. The variety of clothing found indicates the different roles and statuses on board the ship. From the sturdy, practical clothing of the sailors to the more elaborate garments of the officers, these items provide valuable information about the social hierarchy and daily life aboard the Mary Rose. The human element of the Mary Rose transforms her from a mere shipwreck into a vibrant narrative of Tudor life. Through the study of the crew's remains and the artifacts they left behind, we gain a richer understanding of the lives, skills, and diversity of these men. They were not just anonymous figures in a history book, but individuals with unique backgrounds and stories. Their legacy, preserved in the wreckage of the Mary Rose, continues to offer invaluable insights into the human experience of naval warfare and life at sea in the 16th century. This legacy is not just about the grand battles and historical events, but about the daily lives, hopes, and dreams of the men who served aboard her. They remind us that history is a tapestry woven from countless individual threads, each one adding to the richness and depth of the whole. Through their stories, we connect with the past in a deeply personal and meaningful way, preserving the legacy of the Mary Rose for future generations to explore and appreciate. Ship's legacy. Know theseoton, know thyself, a saying from the ancient Greeks, but one that echoes through the ages, even down to the watery grave of the Mary Rose. For what better way to know ourselves than by unearthing the past and discovering the lives of those who came before us? The Mary Rose, lost in 1545 and raised from the depths in 1982, offers us a mirror to Tudor England, reflecting a time of naval ambition, technological innovation, and human endeavor. The raising of the Mary Rose was a monumental event, a grand spectacle of maritime archaeology. Picture it, a sunny day in 1982, with crowds gathered and cameras rolling, as a team of archaeologists, historians, engineers, and divers worked in harmony to bring the ship back from Davy Jones's locker. It was a feat of engineering as intricate as any Elizabethan lacework, involving meticulous planning, state-of-the-art technology, and a fair bit of elbow grease. This was no small task. The Mary Rose had been lying on the seabed for over 4 centuries, a silent witness to the passage of time. The project was spearheaded by the Mary Rose Trust, a dedicated group of professionals and enthusiasts determined to see this Tudor treasure restored. It wasn't just about lifting the ship, it was about preserving history, about ensuring that the Mary Rose could tell her story to future generations. The recovery was a marvel of interdisciplinary collaboration. Imagine a round table where archaeologists swapped notes with marine engineers, where conservators discussed the finer points of wood preservation with chemists. The result, a triumph of human ingenuity. The techniques developed during the Mary Rose project have since become standard practice in underwater archaeology, setting the bar for future shipwreck recoveries. One of the greatest challenges was conserving the ship's timbers, which had been waterlogged for centuries. Enter polyethylene glycol, or PEG, the unsung hero of artifact conservation. This magical substance replaced the water in the wood, preventing it from shrinking and warping as it dried. The success of PEG treatment on the Mary Rose has led to its use in preserving other wooden artifacts and shipwrecks, a testament to the project's innovative spirit. But the Mary Rose was more than just wood and nails. She carried a trove of organic materials, textiles, leather, and even human remains. Preserving these fragile artifacts required new techniques and approaches, pushing the boundaries of conservation science. Each item, from the sailor's boots to the carpenter's tools, was treated with the utmost care, ensuring they could be studied and appreciated for years to come. The Mary Rose Museum in Portsmouth stands as a testament to these efforts. It's more than a museum, it's a time capsule. Visitors are transported back to the 16th century, walking the decks with the crew, seeing the world through their eyes. The museum's design incorporates cutting-edge climate control and preservation technologies, ensuring the long-term stability of the ship and her artifacts. Interactive displays, detailed reconstructions, and multimedia presentations bring the story of the Mary Rose to life, making history accessible and engaging. Educational programs at the museum play a crucial role in keeping the legacy of the Mary Rose alive. Schools flock to Portsmouth for hands-on learning experiences, where students can touch the past and feel the weight of history in their hands. These programs inspire a new generation of historians, archaeologists, and conservationists, planting the seeds of curiosity and wonder. The cultural impact of the Mary Rose extends beyond the museum walls. She has become a symbol of England's rich maritime heritage, celebrated in literature, art, and popular media. Documentaries, books, and exhibitions about the Mary Rose have reached a global audience, fostering a broader appreciation for the historical significance of shipwrecks. The Mary Rose's story is told and retold, each iteration adding a new layer to her legacy. The artifacts recovered from the Mary Rose have provided invaluable insights into 16th century life, naval warfare, and technology. The ship's design and construction reflect the innovations of Tudor shipbuilding, while the weapons and tools found on board illustrate the advancements in military technology and craftsmanship. Personal items such as clothing, grooming tools, and religious artifacts offer a glimpse into the daily lives and cultural practices of the crew. It's like peeking into the wardrobe of history, each item telling its own story. The study of the crew's remains has expanded our understanding of the health, diet, and demographics of Tudor sailors. Isotopic analysis has revealed the diverse origins of the crew members, challenging previous assumptions about the composition of Tudor naval forces. This research highlights the interconnectedness of the early modern world and the mobility of people during this period. Who would have thought a shipwreck could reveal so much about migration patterns and dietary habits? The Mary Rose Trust continues to play a crucial role in preserving her legacy. The Trust supports ongoing research into the artifacts and remains, funding scientific studies that provide new insights into Tudor life and maritime history. This research is shared with the public through publications, exhibitions, and educational programs, ensuring that the Mary Rose's story continues to evolve and inspire. One of the Trust's key missions is to ensure the long-term preservation of the Mary Rose and her artifacts. This involves maintaining the museum's state-of-the-art climate control systems, conducting regular conservation assessments, and applying new preservation techniques as they are developed. The Trust also engages in outreach efforts to raise awareness about the importance of underwater cultural heritage and the need to protect it. They're like the guardians of an ancient treasure, but with less swordplay and more science. The story of the Mary Rose is one of discovery, innovation, and resilience. It serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of preserving our cultural heritage and the value of interdisciplinary collaboration in uncovering the past. The ongoing efforts to study and conserve the Mary Rose inspire future generations to explore the mysteries of history and to develop new methods for preserving it. The legacy of the Mary Rose is a testament to human curiosity and the enduring desire to connect with our past. Through the dedicated efforts of archaeologists, conservators, historians, and educators, the Mary Rose continues to captivate and educate, ensuring that her story remains an integral part of our shared heritage. In essence, the Mary Rose is a bridge between the past and the present, a tangible connection to the people who lived, loved, and fought over 400 years ago. Her story reminds us of the importance of preserving our history for future generations to explore and understand. Through the Mary Rose, we are reminded of the enduring connection between the past and the present, and the vital role that archaeology plays in uncovering the stories that shape our world. So here's to the Mary Rose, a ship that continues to sail through history, her legacy as vibrant and enduring as the waves she once rode. Ongoing research. The past is never truly dead. It's just lying at the bottom of the Solent, waiting to be hoisted up and given a second life. The Mary Rose, England's pride and joy turned tragic tale, is more than just a shipwreck. She's a resurrected relic of Tudor life, a veritable Pandora's box of historical goodies. Since her dramatic rise from the deep in 1982, the ongoing research into her remains has been nothing short of revelatory, peeling back the layers of history with the finesse of a master archaeologist and the excitement of a treasure hunter. Now, let's talk teeth. Not the gleaming, perfectly aligned type of a Hollywood star, mind you, but the gritty, weathered molars of 16th century sailors. Scientists, bless their forensic hearts, have been poring over these chompers with multi-isotope analysis, a fancy term for examining chemical signatures in dental enamel. It's like detective work, but with more tartar. This technique has spilled the beans on where these sailors hailed from, what they ate and how they lived. Surprise, surprise. The Mary Rose's crew was a veritable United Nations of the seas. Take the Royal Archer, for instance, whose isotopic makeup suggests origins in the Atlas Mountains of North Africa. Talk about a multicultural crew. DNA analysis adds another layer of intrigue to this maritime mystery. By extracting and analyzing DNA from the skeletal remains, researchers are uncovering the genetic backgrounds, familial ties, and health conditions of the Mary Rose's crew. It's like, who do you think you are? But with more rigging and fewer tears. Combine this genetic data with isotopic analysis, and you've got a comprehensive biography of these seafaring souls. Historical records and personal letters add flesh to these scientific bones. Researchers dive into archives, cross-referencing physical evidence with contemporary accounts. This detective work clarifies the operational history of the Mary Rose, the roles and responsibilities of her crew, and the political and military context of her time. It's like piecing together a grand jigsaw puzzle, each piece adding nuance and detail to the bigger picture. Naval tactics and strategies from the Tudor period come under the microscope too. By comparing the Mary Rose's design, armament, and documented engagements with other ships of her time, historians can pinpoint the innovations and limitations of Tudor naval warfare. It's not just about who had the bigger guns. It's about understanding the intricate dance of strategy and technology that defined an era. The conservation of the Mary Rose and her artifacts is an ongoing labor of love. Preventing the degradation of organic materials like wood, leather, and textiles requires constant innovation. Enter nanomaterials and advanced compounds, which sound like something out of a sci-fi novel, but are very much a reality. Nanoparticles, for instance, can consolidate decayed wood, providing much-needed structural support. It's like giving the old girl a Botox treatment, only more scientific. Digital technology plays a starring role too. 3D scanning and modeling allow researchers to create detailed digital replicas of artifacts and the ship's structure. These models are used for study, educational purposes, and even virtual reality experiences. Imagine strolling the decks of the Mary Rose from the comfort of your living room. These digital doppelgangers also help plan conservation treatments and monitor the condition of artifacts over time. It's archaeology meets Silicon Valley. The interdisciplinary nature of Mary Rose research is what makes it so rich and rewarding. Archaeologists, historians, conservators, and materials scientists all bring their expertise to the table. It's like a historical Avengers team-up, each with their unique superpowers. Collaborations with academic institutions facilitate cutting-edge research projects. For example, partnerships with universities have enabled in-depth studies of the ship's construction techniques, providing insights into Tudor shipbuilding practices and materials. Public engagement and education are crucial. The Mary Rose Trust shares their findings through museum exhibits, publications, lectures, and educational programs. This outreach ensures that the knowledge gained is accessible to a wide audience, inspiring future generations of researchers and history enthusiasts. They're not just hoarding the treasure, they're sharing it with the world. Looking ahead, ongoing research on the Mary Rose will continue to leverage advancements in technology and scientific methods. Future studies may focus on more detailed examinations of the ship's construction, including identifying specific woodworking techniques and tools used by Tudor shipwrights. Further isotopic and DNA analyses could provide even more precise information about the crew's origins, health, and living conditions. New conservation materials and methods will ensure that the Mary Rose and her artifacts remain preserved for future study and public enjoyment. As digital technologies evolve, virtual reconstructions of the Mary Rose could become even more immersive, offering new ways for people to explore and learn about this remarkable ship. The ongoing research on the Mary Rose is a testament to the enduring significance of this archaeological find. Through the application of advanced scientific techniques, historical research, technological innovation, and interdisciplinary collaboration, researchers continue to uncover new insights into the Tudor period and maritime history. The Mary Rose remains a vital link to the past, offering a unique window into the lives of the people who sailed her and the world in which they lived. As research progresses, the legacy of the Mary Rose will continue to grow, enriching our understanding of history and inspiring future discoveries. So here's to the Mary Rose, a ship that keeps on giving, her story as rich and layered as a Dublin pub on a Saturday night. She's a reminder of our enduring connection to the past and the importance of preserving our history for future generations. The Mary Rose sails on, not through the waves, but through time, her legacy as vibrant and enduring as the sea itself. Scholarly papers. The recovery and study of the Mary Rose have generated a substantial body of scholarly research, providing deep insights into Tudor maritime history, archaeology, and conservation science. This chapter presents excerpts from several key scholarly papers that highlight significant findings and contributions to our understanding of the Mary Rose. These papers delve into various aspects of the ship, including its construction, the composition and health of its crew, the technological innovations of the period, and the advanced methods used in its conservation. Analysis of the longbows from the Mary Rose. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Mary Rose is the extensive collection of longbows recovered from the wreck. These longbows offer valuable insights into Tudor archery and military technology. A detailed study published in the Journal of Archaeological Science titled "The Archery Equipment from the Mary Rose, an Analysis of Design and Use" provides an in-depth examination of these weapons. Longbows recovered from the Mary Rose are remarkable for their preservation and diversity in size and draw weight. This study analyzed longbows, revealing a range of draw weights from approximately 70 to 160 pounds. This variation suggests that the bows were designed to accommodate archers of different strengths and skill levels, reflecting a sophisticated understanding of ergonomics and combat requirements. The bows were crafted from high-quality yew wood, selected for its combination of strength and flexibility. The detailed analysis of wood grain patterns and tool marks indicates that the bows were manufactured using advanced woodworking techniques. Each bow was meticulously shaped to optimize performance, highlighting the expertise of Tudor bowyers. The presence of these longbows on the Mary Rose underscores the importance of archery in naval warfare during the Tudor period. Archers provided a critical advantage in battles, capable of delivering rapid volleys of arrows to disrupt enemy formations and personnel. The design and craftsmanship of the bows recovered from the Mary Rose offer a tangible connection to the martial skills and technologies of the 16th century. Hardy et al., 2012. Isotopic analysis of the crew's teeth. The diversity of the Mary Rose's crew has been a subject of significant interest, with isotopic analysis providing key insights into their geographic origins and diets. A paper titled "Multi-Isotope Analysis of the Mary Rose Crew: Insights into the Lives of Tudor Sailors" explores these findings. Isotopic analysis of dental enamel from the Mary Rose's crew has revealed a surprising level of diversity among the sailors. The study utilized oxygen, strontium, and carbon isotopes to determine the geographic origins and dietary habits of 18 crew members. The results indicated that while the majority of the crew originated from various regions of England, several individuals had isotopic signatures consistent with origins in southern Europe and North Africa. One crew member, referred to as the Royal Archer, exhibited isotopic values, suggesting that he was raised in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco. This finding challenges previous assumptions about the composition of Tudor naval crews and suggests a more cosmopolitan makeup than traditionally believed. The presence of non-English crew members highlights the interconnected nature of the early modern world and the diverse backgrounds of those who served in the Tudor Navy. The isotopic analysis also provided insights into the diet of the crew. Carbon isotopes indicated a diet rich in protein, consistent with the consumption of meat and fish. However, signs of nutritional stress were evident in some individuals, likely reflecting periods of food scarcity or limited access to fresh produce during long voyages. These findings offer a comprehensive view of the health and origins of the Mary Rose's crew, contributing to our understanding of life aboard a Tudor warship. Evans et al., 2018. Technological innovations in conservation. The conservation of the Mary Rose and its artifacts has been an ongoing challenge, requiring innovative approaches to preserve the ship's remains for future generations. A paper titled Conservation Techniques for the Mary Rose, Advances and Challenges discusses the methods used and the lessons learned. The conservation of the Mary Rose has involved a multidisciplinary approach, combining traditional techniques with cutting-edge technology. One of the most significant advancements was the use of polyethylene glycol, PEG, to stabilize the waterlogged wooden structure of the ship. PEG treatment involves replacing the water in the wood with a synthetic polymer, which prevents shrinkage and distortion as the wood dries. The process of PEG impregnation took place over several decades, with the ship being continuously sprayed with PEG solution in specially designed conservation tanks. This gradual and controlled treatment ensured that the wood retained its structural integrity, allowing for the preservation of intricate details such as tool marks and construction features. In addition to PEG treatment, researchers have explored the use of nanomaterials to consolidate decayed wood. Nanoparticles can penetrate deeply into the wood structure, providing additional support and stability. This approach has shown promise in experimental studies and may be applied more broadly in future conservation efforts. The conservation of metal artifacts from the Mary Rose has also presented challenges, particularly in preventing corrosion. Electrolytic reduction and the application of corrosion inhibitors have been used to stabilize iron objects, while X-ray fluorescence, XRF analysis, has helped identify the composition and condition of metal artifacts before treatment. These methods have been critical in preserving a wide range of items, from cannonballs to personal tools. The ongoing research and development of new conservation techniques not only benefit the Mary Rose, but also set new standards for the preservation of underwater cultural heritage worldwide. The lessons learned from this project continue to inform best practices and drive innovation in the field of conservation science. Jones et al., 2015. Understanding the broader historical and archaeological context of the Mary Rose is essential for interpreting the findings from the ship. A comprehensive review titled The Mary Rose, Contextualizing a Tudor Warship provides an overview of the ship's significance within the larger framework of Tudor naval history, serving as a flagship of Henry VIII's Navy and participating in several key naval engagements. Her construction in 1511 marked a significant advancement in ship design, incorporating features such as a higher freeboard and a more robust hull to accommodate heavy artillery. These innovations reflected the evolving needs of naval warfare during the early 16th century. Archaeological evidence from the Mary Rose has provided detailed insights into the shipbuilding techniques of the period. Analysis of the hull structure and joinery techniques has revealed the use of advanced carpentry skills and materials. The ship's design was optimized for both combat and navigation, with a focus on stability and firepower. The historical context of the Mary Rose's service is equally important. Her participation in the Second French War, 1512 to 1514, and subsequent conflicts highlights the strategic importance of naval power in Henry VIII's military ambitions. The ship's final engagement at the Battle of the Solent in 1545 underscores the ongoing tensions between England and France, as well as the challenges of naval warfare. The Mary Rose also provides a window into the daily lives of Tudor sailors. The artifacts recovered from the wreck, including personal items, weapons, and navigational instruments, offer a tangible connection to the men who served on board. These findings contribute to a richer understanding of the social and economic conditions of the period, as well as the practical realities of life at sea. The interdisciplinary approach to studying the Mary Rose, combining archaeological, historical, and scientific methods, has set a benchmark for maritime archaeology. The ship's legacy continues to inform our understanding of Tudor history and the development of naval technology, ensuring that the Mary Rose remains a subject of enduring interest and significance. Smith et al., 2017. Socio-economic impact of the Mary Rose. The artifacts and remains from the Mary Rose also shed light on the socio-economic conditions of Tudor England. A paper titled The Mary Rose and the Socio-Economic Landscape of Tudor England, published in Economic History Review, explores the broader implications of the ship's findings. The Mary Rose provides a unique snapshot of the socio-economic landscape of Tudor England, reflecting the complex interplay of commerce, warfare, and daily life. The ship's construction and maintenance required significant financial investment, highlighting the economic priorities of Henry VIII's reign. The allocation of resources to build and equip such a vessel underscores the strategic importance of naval power in securing trade routes and projecting military strength. The artifacts recovered from the Mary Rose offer insights into the economic activities of the period. Items such as coins, trade goods, and personal belongings reflect the diverse origins and economic backgrounds of the crew. The presence of luxury items, including finely crafted weapons and clothing, suggests that the ship was not only a war machine, but also a microcosm of Tudor society, with individuals of varying social status and wealth. The dietary remains and food-related artifacts provide evidence of the provisioning strategies employed to sustain the crew. The variety of food storage containers and cooking implements indicates a diet that included both preserved and fresh provisions. The discovery of fishing equipment suggests that the crew supplemented their diet with fresh fish, reflecting the practicalities of long-term maritime expeditions. The Mary Rose also highlights the economic impact of naval engagements on local communities. The ship's crew included individuals from various regions, and their service in the Navy would have had ripple effects on local economies. The recruitment of sailors and soldiers, the procurement of supplies, and the maintenance of ships all contributed to the economic activity of port cities and surrounding areas. The study of the Mary Rose and her artifacts continues to enhance our understanding of the socio-economic dynamics of Tudor England. By examining the material culture of the period, researchers can reconstruct the economic networks and daily lives of individuals who lived and worked in this pivotal era of English history. Walker et al., 2019. A final thought. Ships are but boards, sailors but men. William Shakespeare, The Merchant of Venice. Our good old Mary Rose, not just a ship, but a veritable time capsule from the days when Henry VIII was prancing about England, marrying, divorcing, and lopping off heads with the fervor of a Tudor Henry Kissinger. Imagine it, a sleek, majestic warship, bristling with cannons and manned by a ragtag crew of sailors, soldiers, and gunners, ready to give the French a right drubbing. And yet, here we are, centuries later, pondering how this wooden marvel ended up as an underwater archaeological sensation, raising eyebrows and lifting spirits since 1982. Let's dive right into the heart of the matter, those poor souls aboard the Mary Rose. Picture the cacophony of life on deck, the shouts of sailors, the clang of metal on metal, and the whoosh of arrows slicing through the air. Each artifact recovered tells a tale richer than a Christmas pudding. Take, for instance, the humble shoe, a leather relic that once cradled the foot of some now-forgotten sailor. You can almost hear the groan of his feet after a hard day's graft, yearning for a pint at the local tavern. And let's not forget the crew's diversity. Thanks to modern-day tooth detectives, isotopic analysis, if you must know, we've discovered that some of these lads hailed from as far afield as North Africa and Southern Europe. Picture this, a swarthy archer from the Atlas Mountains, rubbing shoulders with a fair-haired carpenter from Cornwall. It's a Tudor version of Cheers, where everybody knows your name, but nobody can pronounce it. Raising the Mary Rose was no small feat. Think of it as trying to lift a soggy, splintered cake from the bottom of a very cold, wet oven. But lift her they did, with a concoction of ingenuity, grit, and a fair bit of luck. The use of polyethylene glycol, PEG, to preserve her waterlogged timbers was nothing short of alchemy. Imagine wizards in lab coats chanting chemical formulas over vats of goo, turning wood that had the consistency of soggy Weetabix into a solid, stable relic of history. The collaboration involved was a veritable Renaissance fair of talents. Archaeologists, historians, conservators, and engineers all playing their part. This ensemble cast has set the gold standard for underwater archaeology, proving that with enough brains and brawn, you can pluck history from the depths and make it sing. And what of her cultural impact? Well, the Mary Rose has become the Beyoncé of maritime archaeology, drawing crowds from near and far. The Mary Rose Museum in Portsmouth is not just a museum, it's an immersive experience, a Disneyland for history buffs. Interactive displays, detailed reconstructions, and multimedia extravaganzas transport visitors straight to the heart of the 16th century, minus the dysentery. The museum's educational programs have lit a fire under the imaginations of countless students. Kids today, instead of droning on about Minecraft, are captivated by tales of Tudor daring-do. It's enough to make you wish you were back in school, minus the corporal punishment. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no, the Mary Rose continues to be a veritable fountain of knowledge. Ongoing research, like a never-ending episode of CSI Tudor Edition, keeps uncovering new mysteries. Advances in DNA analysis and isotopic studies promise even more revelations about the crew's origins, health, and those pesky dietary habits. Who knew scurvy could be so fascinating? Technological innovations are turning the ship into a digital superstar. 3D scanning and virtual reality are allowing people around the globe to explore the Mary Rose without ever setting foot in Portsmouth. Soon, you'll be able to don a VR headset and walk her decks, dodging virtual cannonballs and sniffing virtual gunpowder. The Mary Rose's legacy is a testament to human curiosity and the indomitable spirit of discovery. She's more than just a ship. She's a symbol of resilience and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. Her story reminds us that history isn't just about dusty books and dates. It's about people, their lives, their struggles, and their triumphs. So, as we reflect on the Mary Rose, let's raise a glass, of mead perhaps, to the sailors who manned her, the archaeologists who found her, and the conservators who saved her. Here's to the past, the present, and the future discoveries yet to come. The Mary Rose, in all her glory and tragedy, continues to captivate our hearts and minds, proving that the best stories are those that never end. In the end, the Mary Rose isn't just a relic. She's a living, breathing part of our heritage, a reminder of where we've been, and a beacon for where we're going. Long may she reign in the annals of history and the hearts of all who hear her tale. And what's the moral of this tale, you ask? Well, it's a bit like that time old Seamus O'Flaherty tried to rescue his prized whiskey barrel from the bog. He plunged in, boots and all, muttering curses and prayers alike, only to stumble upon an ancient bog body instead. Picture it. There he was, waist deep in muck, tugging and straining, when instead of the familiar slosh of his beloved barrel, he found himself face to face with the leathery visage of a long-dead chieftain, perfectly preserved by the peat. It was a moment that transformed Seamus from the local drunkard to the accidental archaeologist of Ballybucklebow. You see, sometimes what you unearth in the murky depths, whether it's a Tudor warship or a long-lost ancestor, has more to teach us than we ever imagined. The past, much like Seamus's bog, is full of surprises waiting to be discovered, as long as you're willing to get your boots a bit muddy. And therein lies the charm and the challenge, embracing the unexpected, finding value in the unforeseen, and realizing that the treasures we seek might not always be the ones we uncover. Consider the Mary Rose, her sunken hull, a wooden time capsule lying in wait. When she was finally coaxed from her watery grave, she brought with her stories untold, and secrets long held by the briny deep. Scholars and sailors alike thought they knew what they were looking for, a piece of naval history, a glimpse into Tudor maritime might. But what they found was far richer, a veritable mosaic of human experience, pieced together from the everyday lives of her crew. The artifacts recovered paint a vivid picture of life aboard the ship, more intricate than any mural Henry VIII might have commissioned. There were shoes and combs, weapons and tools, each one whispering tales of the men who once called the Mary Rose home. Who would have thought that a simple wooden knit comb could speak volumes about a sailor's daily routine, or that a nitty-gritty detail like the isotopic composition of a tooth could unravel the diverse origins of her crew? Just like Seamus's accidental discovery in the bog, the raising of the Mary Rose was more than a feat of engineering. It was an awakening to the myriad stories buried with her. Each plank of wood, each rusty nail, every personal item found on board served as a reminder that history is not just dates and battles, but the sum of human lives lived in the margins. It's the mundane and the magnificent, the tragic and the triumphant. So, what's the moral here? Don't just skim the surface, dig deep, even if it means getting a bit of bog mud on your Sunday best. You might start out looking for a barrel of whiskey and end up uncovering a piece of your own heritage. It's a reminder that the past has layers, like Seamus's bog, and each one holds its own mysteries, its own revelations. And as Seamus would surely toast, albeit with a cleaner find next time. Here's to the explorers, the dreamers, and the mud-stained discoverers who dare to delve into the unknown, for it's in those murky depths that we often find the brightest gems of understanding and the richest veins of our shared humanity. If any of you, my listeners, would like to follow up the story of Mary Rose, I have included for you a bibliography on the subject at the end of description to this episode. Slaint, thank you for tuning into our episode. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram by simply typing TIFAM Magazine. Also visit our website tifam.ie to read a lot of our episodes as articles. Hear from us soon.